everybody who's here, you're gonna become forever renters. You're not going to be able to buy any real estate as an individual because inflation is the winner and the killer. Real estate would not be a strong commodity. When a 99-cent store can no longer sell 99-cent goods, you are in trouble.
Welcome to another episode of the Millionaire Essentials podcast, where we give you all the essentials to be a millionaire. You know I'm one of your hosts, Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. You know Tevin Facey here. What's going on, y'all? And we got the infamous, the one and only,
Mr. Employed Millionaire.
Yes, sir.
Right.
New York City's own, a Brooklynite.
What's going on, y'all?
We got Storm Leroy on the episode today.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's
go.
Storm, nice for you coming out here, man. Appreciate you for making it out.
Yes, anytime I could get to talk to the people, especially now where we're at, pivotal point, I want to give it up. I want to talk what I got to talk. You know what I mean? Like it or not, it's time for them to hear what needs to be said.
And you talk, he talk a good game. He talk a lot. Today he was breaking some stuff down to us. We're going to get into it, but he talk facts. One of the things I want to ask you before we get into it, what does employed millionaire mean? Because nowadays, a lot of people are thinking with this game, I got to be an entrepreneur. I got to be a businessman. I don't want no job. Forget a 9-to-5. What does employed millionaire mean?
Employed millionaire simply means that you're going to take your salary that you're getting from being employed, and you're going to develop the mindset of a millionaire so now you can actually become one. The sole purpose is not to just have a job to be employed, because if you look at the history of everybody who's ever had a job, not one of them actually went on and retired a millionaire from a 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. And at the end of most jobs, you have a pension. It's half of your salary. So the thing is, you need to take your salary, stop thinking it's just to pay bills, and invest in yourself. Your job is actually paying you to not come back to work. You just keep coming back asking for more money in exchange. They want more time. So they're underpaying you to overperform. So you got to take the money, invest in yourself, go believe in yourself, in that dream, that goal, whatever you had in your mind as imagination as a child. Because we tend to lose that thing in your imagination. When you were a kid, you believed you could be an astronaut, a basketball player, baseball, a lawyer, a physicist. Yep. But then you get a job and go, well, I guess this is it for me, and this is as good as it's going to get. So I'm just going to take this salary and wait till I get the watch and retire. No, that thing that's lying dormant in you is the job is actually funding that. So don't just think it's all about a job. It's about being your greatest, highest level of existence. And that can happen with that salary.
That's amazing right there. And you know, at one point, Storm was gonna run to be a politician. That's why his voice is so high. I think that's what it is right there, right? Yeah. But you know, obviously you're speaking about, you know, what is an employed millionaire, but how did you become an employed millionaire? Like, what did you do?
What did I do specifically?
Like, how did you start? Yeah.
All right. When I got my job at Verizon, my whole thing was, I'm only going to work here for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was like, I started that job in 1996. I said, I was, really into my music. I mean, I was an artist at one time. I was like, I'm just going to do this little thing.
That's what the loud voice come from, not the politician. All right, we got it.
People. Well, it's projection. Really, it came from me being a Nation of Islam, but that's a whole nother topic.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Learning to project and being firm. You know what I mean? So once I got the job and 1 year turned to 2, 3, 4, 5, it just kept going. I said, what am I doing? I got comfortable with this salary.
Right.
So my dad really put into me that you need to go after what you want, no matter what it is.
Yes.
And my father, I watched him work when I was a kid, construction. And he would go out to the job sites like how you see people now looking for jobs and day laborers at Home Depot. Back in the 70s, it was like that. So he got hired to work at Woodhull Hospital in Brooklyn. He was digging a ditch in Woodhull Hospital, and he got collapsed in. The hole caved in on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, they brought him back to the house, couldn't take him to the hospital because he wasn't supposed to be working there anyway.
Right.
So I wanted to take his boots off. He would have me take his boots off when he come home from work. Right. So it was 10 of us. But he would choose me to take his boots off. So this day they brought him in, carried him in, sat him at the kitchen table. He I'm looking at him and he's all covered in mud, and he calls me over to take his boots off. I'm taking his boots off. He says to me, "Do you know why I have you take my boots off?" So I'm like, finally, he's going to tell me the origin of this story, like a superhero movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Like
the origin story, right?
This is how it starts, right here.
So I said, no, I don't. He says, because I don't ever want you to end up doing what you seeing me do right now. That was powerful for me because I thought hard work was it. But he was teaching me hard work ain't it. Hard work breaks your body down. Right. Hard work is something you eventually won't be able to do. And when I got my own job, when I got my first apartment, I thought back, my dad said, Dag, what am I doing? I'm actually emulating him. I was working hard. He wanted to buy our house we lived in. But you got to think about it. It was the 70s when I grew up. So you talking about redlining, you know, the Housing Fair Act from 1968 was passed, but black people still wasn't able to get loans. Right. All of this was happening. Right. And I watched this. I seen all this happening. It's like, why am I falling into the trap? So my goal, I got my first house in 1999, my first brownstone. Changed my life. 1999, bought that brownstone in Bed-Stuy, and everybody knows Bed-Stuy in 99. It was a problem, you know what I mean? So once I bought that, it was, but before I even get into that, and I'm gonna give you back the floor, I wanna tell you something. Before I bought that, I actually wanted to get in real estate in 1995. I took 2 people with me to go see a brownstone. There was a gentleman over on Washington and Bergen. Anybody who knows Brooklyn, Washington, Bergen area. This gentleman wanted to sell me 2 of his brownstones for $350,000. Now these places are like $4 million now. Yeah, but you got to think.
Right.
There's nothing now. I'm trying to think, dude, they still got that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this was all drugged up back then. You know what I mean? It was still crack.
He talking
then.
Brooklyn talk. If y'all know, he talking Brooklyn talk.
Crack, heavy crack.
Hey, that crack era, that was Brooklyn,
That was real. So I was like, yo, I'm going to get it. My boys was like, nah, man. Y'all don't buy this. I'm telling you. But I said, nah, the rent's going to pay for it. I'm going to buy these 2 houses. I didn't buy it. So what I'm saying is, don't bring people out around you to get involved with a project you want to do if they don't see the vision you have. You got to surround yourself. If you want to be a designer or architect, you can't hang around with painters. You can't hang around with somebody who's trying to be a ball player because you're going to want to do what everybody else in the circle is doing. Yep. If you want to be in real estate, start hanging around somebody who want to be in real estate. If you want to do crypto, start hanging around that. But I was hanging around people who just wanted to hang out while I was trying to evolve. So that's crucial. Monitor who you hang out with. They'll be there when you get back. Go be great and come back. They'll be there.
Yes, sir.
One of the things you just broke down was very, very important. You talk a lot about being an employee millionaire. So we all come from similar backgrounds, me, Tevin, and you. All from New York City. I worked for MTA for a lot of years. He worked for Google. He worked for Con Ed for a lot of years.
Jeez.
So your story emulates with us, and it motivates me especially because it's relatable, like you just said. So when you preaching what you're preaching, I'm seeing it happen, and it's making me see it can happen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there who's in similar situations. They're working a 9-to-5. They're trying to invest, but they don't know how to. One of the things I've seen that helped you, what you just broke down, you got heavy into real estate early. So for somebody out there who's on a 9-to-5, who dreams, the American dream is to become a millionaire, but they don't know how to get out that rat race, how have you evolved, and how can you say this is where you start?
Wow. I'm going to tell you, start saving money with the purpose of doing something, right? What I'm saying is people will go out their way to save money, to go take a trip, go on vacation, to go buy some sneakers, go buy a bag, do something, you know, but you're actually burning your future in the process. Right. You're right. A vacation is the worst thing, in my opinion, you can ever do because it makes you complacent. What a vacation actually does, it has you go somewhere, get this feeling of euphoria, like, yo, this is dope, man. Oh, man, the weight of the world is off my shoulder. This feels so good. But you need to say to yourself, how come you don't feel this way every day? Right. How come you setting yourself up to go back to the grind and you're not saying, whatever I feel now, I need to feel this forever. See what I mean? So it's a temporary pleasure. So what I did was I wasn't doing no vacations or nothing. I took $8,000. Now, this is what really changed me. Buying that first piece of real estate in 99, I don't want to confuse nobody out there. I bought it for about $325,000. Back then, we would take a construction loan on the property. They was literally giving out loans back in the 90s. So you just had to do some paperwork and get the loan. So I went and bought another one. But the key thing was that brownstone didn't have me sitting here with y'all. That brownstone would have kept me at work for 20, 27, 28, 35 years to retire because my brain was locked into the mode of, get this, collect the rent, let it grow equity, just go to work and retire. But what happened was when I bought this place, I did the renovations. I gutted it from the top all the way to the bottom. Man, I'm in the basement looking up at the 3 floors. I'm like, oh, this was crazy, dude. This was a hell of, my pops would really be proud of me. But you know what? I looked up from the basement, 3 floors up now. Mm-hmm. No floors, no pipe and plumbing. And I said, I'm never want to do this again. You know why? Because I created another job, bro. I was on that site and I almost lost my job at Verizon. The same job that paid me.
You saying something that most real estate people don't say.
Oh, I got more. Bro.
No, go ahead. My fault.
And this is where people get it confused about getting into something like real estate and really getting into business. You're supposed to look at it as a business, not be a landlord.
There you go. See, now you open
ahead.
the door.
Yeah.
So once I got that renovation done,
Because I've been there too.
I said, yo, I'm never, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this. And once I got that place finished, I put tenants in there. Investors, like you said, do not tell people the dark side about real estate, and that's being a landlord.
Yep.
Being a landlord is the worst on the planet. And even now, recently, it's gotten more worse because once COVID hit, they changed the rules. So once I had these tenants in there, I already had a supervisor at work. Now I got somebody telling me when they gonna pay me, when I should come up here and fix that. When I said, yo,
That's his new supervisor.
this is crazy. So from that point on, I didn't buy no more real estate. That's the only piece of real estate that I bought.
Because you was working so much.
Because it was the tenants. I hate it. But guess what? I realized the money that I was loving was that free cash flow that I was getting.
Right.
So I said, now how can I do this without having to deal with tenants? End up running into one of my boys years later who's a realtor. I go hang out with him. I meet somebody who says, yeah, I got real estate out of state. I don't even deal with tenants. I said, what? Wait, hold up, man. Say that again.
Game
said,
changer.
yeah, nah, man, I got property management companies. What? Once he said that.
And you got to think about it, because back then, property management wasn't as widely publicized as it is now.
No social media.
Exactly. So you don't know anything. You got to read the news. You got to really see what the heck is going on. You got to buy the paper. Like, people don't even know about the daily news and all that from back then. So now you're getting introduced to property management. How did that go for you?
Well, once he told me about it, and I went online and started Googling.
Right.
So I'm Google property management companies, and I'm getting all this information.
What year was that? Do you remember?
2015.
2015. Gotcha.
2015. So now once I'm Googling, looking over this stuff, I talk to my boys, and I'm like, yo, what do y'all know about buying real estate out of state? Now, I would never do that if I can't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They only knew what they can see. Like, the limitations was based on sight, which is the worst thing.
And their circle. The site and the circle.
Yeah, because, we work, and they had places, and I said, yo, bro, now you got to think. Real estate went from, I bought a property, $350,000 in 1999, and now 2015, these prices are like $800,000 for real estate. So it's a big difference. Right. And the math ain't mathing. You ain't buying a house for $800,000 and then think you're gonna pay the mortgage with the rent. Right. So once I got that information and started calling property managers, and I joined a site, biggerpockets.com.
Oh, Bigger Pockets.
Bigger Pockets.
They owe me some bread, but and he actually
been shouting them out. They
reached out to me too. You know what I mean? They reached out to me for had a discussion about some things. And once I start getting in that community of out-of-state investors, I said, yo, there's no way I cannot do this. Key thing I did, and I'm going to tell y'all all, I got me a mentor. Get you a mentor. Just like in the dictionary, the word mentor comes before money. You will never get to the money quickly if you don't get you a mentor. Once I got that, I was off to the races, bro. Schooled me, gave me all the game about out of state, and I've never seen this man. It was all through Bigger Pockets. I went in there, posted a comment. I kept posting. He sent me a message and said, yo, young blood, stop asking so many questions. He said, go and type in the question and search for the answer in the chat, because people already ask what you asking. Right. And everybody know you knew and you're not taking time. Then once he responded to me, I said, oh, thanks. He gave me some homework. I went, go looked up some stuff. I came back to him. Then next thing you know, I went looked up some more stuff, came back to him again. And then he said, am I mentoring you right now? I said, oh, thanks for finding out. Yeah, you are my mentor. Bought my first property in Indianapolis, man.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
30-something properties later.
You said something that I think doesn't get talked about enough now, especially, right? Because everybody's saying, yo, get a mentor, let me mentor you, or whatever it is, right? But I think the people that are trying to, become the mentee, they don't put work in, Right now, I feel like we're in that era where everybody wants everything easy.
Right.
I think that becomes the issue now because everybody wants it so easily because they see it so easily. They see everybody with the cars, the watches, the houses, taking vacations, and they're just living based upon that.
Instant gratification.
Yes. But now, I'm talking about vacation. I want to segue into something that I know that you're doing now specifically, right? You no longer want to stay in the U.S.
I'm gone.
You no longer want to stay in the U.S.
Gone.
So how are you transitioning, right? How are you transitioning from the U.S. to now go out of the country, but also still investing in real estate, right? Not being the landlord, but investing in real estate the same way that you're talking about.
Man, let me start by prefacing this, like the understand of why I want to leave the United States first.
Yeah, let's break that down.
Because there's a dramatic shift going on in the United States. I think we all need to look around and you need to notice the change, right? And I don't want to offend anybody because I don't have a problem with what's going on now with migrants coming here because we were brought here, but it was other people who wanted to come here. Like America's that place. You could come here and you could get rich. You can actually come here and do stuff.
Exactly.
And I'm happy to see other people who's escaping unrest, tyranny, things that are happening in their country. They need to get out of that and come here. But the problem is this country is looking at things where, you know what? The minorities are no longer a viable commodity to them, to us. Like we are used. They don't need us anymore. We built the country. Now, 2.3 million baby boomers are retiring every year, and they're leaving
their businesses, all that.
And now that they're retiring, they gave birth to a group of kids who are technology driven. Mm-hmm. So they're not doing the jobs that their parents did. They're not going to be the postal worker. They're not doing sanitation. They don't want to be firemen. They don't want to be policemen. They don't want to be construction workers, plumbers, all the things that this country needs to keep it moving, the things that our parents came here and did and worked hard. They're thinking different. So now they don't even want to go to college. What is that? This country needs college. They need debt. They don't want to buy houses. This younger generation is like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, they want to rent.
This country needs people to buy mortgages. They need these things. So now if that's not happening, what is the country doing? And I want y'all to pay close attention. You are seeing more and more homeless people at an alarming rate.
Yes.
I was just
at an alarming rate. And it's for a reason, because America specifically is saying, we're not pumping no money into you because you're not a viable commodity. We're going to spend billions on this new group of people, let them come here. And now when you get the new mindset of a person who fled from somewhere else, what are they coming here to do? They're going to come here, work hard?
Work hard.
And they're going to say, I need to buy me a house.
Yep.
They're not going to be caught in nostalgia, remembering when mortgage rates was 2.5 and 4. Nope. They're going to pay them 7s. They're going to pay them 8s. Then they're going to say, I got to put my kid through college. They're going to make sure they put their kids through college. They're going to work, save money. They're going to do all the things that our parents did to help the country move along.
And they have more kids than us, too, to be honest.
1,000%. But here's the thing, though. Our parents before us had a lot of kids, though.
Yeah.
They did, but
my mother and father had a lot of kids.
Yeah,
that's why I was the baby boomers.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's going to keep going.
Because they needed to work more.
Exactly.
It was like, once you got the mother and father out the house, the father had to work, mother had to work. But the thing is also, so why I'm leaving specifically, because the goal is to make sure everybody who's here, you're going to become forever renters. You're not going to be able to buy any real estate as an individual because inflation is the winner and the killer. Back like 50 years ago, the average house was $32,000. Bread was 25 cents 50 years ago. Now a house now, $32,000 50 years ago, that house is $400,000 now.
As an average home price.
Average home price. Bread average $3, $4. So now I want you to say to yourself, how much you think a house is going to cost 30 years from now? How much you think bread is going to cost? Like gas used to be 15 cents, 10 cents. Like everything used to be cheap. My mother sent me to the store with $1 and be like, go get a loaf of bread or go get a container, a carton of eggs.
Right.
You can't do that. So now you got to think, what if our children are going to face? So if we're not saying to ourselves, we're gonna start doing things differently. And I go down that rabbit hole later. I'm gonna say more about why I'm leaving the country.
Oh, you going down a rabbit hole?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole.
You Bugs Bunny right now.
So, my thing
Elmer
is,
Fudd and all that, man.
I need to get out this country because once we become the lowest on the totem pole, your rights, police, everything else has no meaning because you have no value. You have none. So once you, listen, I had a Spanish dude tell me, and I swear, he told me, he said, even with the money you have and the things you do, I don't even want to be you. Because they know how the country is going to treat what they doing to us. They already know, like, no, I don't even want your hand because your hand is going to be bad. Think about that, bro. Like,
He be thinking I'm a conspiracy theorist. I be telling him, yo, we got to get ready for things, bro.
I don't.
He be thinking I'm a conspiracy theorist or something.
I'm a conspiracy theorist in a sense as well, right? I believe that, yes, I think we need to protect ourselves outside of just, the regular getting a gun and getting acres and all that other stuff. But that's why we did build a house out in the Dominican Republic, because we do need that backup plan. Because this I have to say, this ain't the original plan anymore.
right.
The buying the house here, the buying more land, and it's no longer the original plan anymore.
It's not a plan for us. They have it. Like,
That was the original plan, though.
Yeah, but
It's no longer.
But see, that wasn't even a plan for us anyway.
So let's start
think
there.
about it.
Hold on, let's start there, right? Because you gonna get deep. Let's start there.
Yeah.
So
I was getting ready to go into errors
we
rights. and all
we
that
not
stuff.
done. We not done. So the thing is, right? A lot of us, we know where a lot of us come from. We don't have nothing to start with, right? So I've seen you as an entrepreneur. I know you talk a lot of real estate, but over the years, I've seen you involved in this a whole different beast. Like me and Tevin are partners, right? So a lot of us ask to see how you partner with somebody, how you find a partner. I've seen you a partner with two people, Ash Cash, Marvin Mitchell, and y'all built a conglomerate. So not only did you start with real estate, but you evolved with the times. Now I see you're heavy on marketing, digital products. You're making, I don't know what he's making, but he's doing pretty good.
All right.
How does somebody come from, I'm making a little money, how do I evolve where I can go out of country and buy real estate? We have to start somewhere. So how do I evolve as an entrepreneur?
Right. Well, the thing is, it all started with the salary and the real estate. Like, I came from a place where I knew my conversation was bigger than real estate. It was the living trust.
Right.
Right? Like, once I did that living trust and I broke down, like, my trust, how the Rockefellers and all that, that's when I got like 1 million views and my phone started ringing and asked people, like,
what's up?
who's this dude talking about the Rockefeller Trust?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
Like,
hold on, give a little breakdown about that now.
Well,
Just a quick breakdown. I know that go deep.
Yeah. Like, for me, my thing was, once I got into real estate, I was like, okay, I want to lead us to my family. So,
Right.
my lawyers, I said, I want to get a will. My lawyer's like, nah, you want to get a trust.
Yeah, trust.
That he was, it's easy to say now.
Well,
Right?
No,
No, it's cool to say
It's
now.
cool.
A lot of
Okay,
people
right.
still don't have it. It's cool
Right.
because it's marketed. We already know. We only go where we're marketing to. Now it's insurance trust, but people still don't understand why or how should I set it up. What's the purpose?
Purpose.
Yes,
right.
the general mass, because I got introduced to a trust early on because my father is a lot older.
Mm-hmm.
The person that we dealt with, since my mom passed early, the person that we dealt with, it was the same lawyer that we've always had, and he automatically introduced us to the trust because he was like, it doesn't make sense you get a will. It doesn't.
No security. Doesn't do anything.
The Jewish lawyer, and he was like, you need to get this living trust. So that's what he kind of introduced us to.
No, that's good.
And this was
You got
before
an
the
early
whole,
start.
this was before the whole social media era and everything. It's like
Yeah.
8, 9
So-
years ago now.
That's good.
Before you go there, if you could tell somebody, because it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because I be getting confused too. So I used to tell people, because a lot of trust be, depending on what you got, 5, 10, 25,000, depending on what you got, how you got set up.
Right.
So there'd be mentees that tell me they don't have nothing. Yeah, I want to get my trust first, so I make sure my stuff is secure. But I'm like, you gonna waste all your money getting to secure what? You have nothing. He's like, I was told get this first. But I'm saying, yo, start making money first and worry about its priorities. You're gonna waste your money on a trust and you don't even know how to make money. So I tell people start making money first, then so you can have something to secure.
Okay.
So what would you say? Set it up, have the security first, and then go out there and make money, or what?
I'm going to tell you, get a trust
First.
First.
first. You know why? Because what is the main thing that made Rockefeller's trust so powerful? What did he use to create this wealth where they just handed his 12th generation money? What did he have in his trust to make his trust?
That non-revocable? They couldn't touch
Life
it?
insurance.
Life insurance.
Okay, life insurance.
Yes. So if you get life insurance, get you a trust.
Okay.
If you have a policy and your policy is for $500,000 and you know you just don't want to give it to your child, how are you going to dictate for $100,000 to go to your child or $200,000? Then the other $300 stays into a brokerage account until your child has a child 21 years later, growing 6% interest will probably end up to be about $980,000. Then you only give that grandchild maybe half of that. You leave the other half, which end up to about $4.7 million, 21 years for your. You can't do that in the will.
Yeah.
That's why you need a trust. So when everybody says don't, what I would say is don't get extravagant with your trust. You don't need a big trust.
Yeah,
you just need a
go.
simple trust that speaks the language of what you want to do right now.
There you go.
That's
Feel me?
what my dad's.
Because you know why?
There you go.
This is what people do. You will get you cell phone insurance. You'll get you car insurance. But you won't get you no damn life insurance.
Or health insurance.
Yeah, you have to have health insurance.
You
Like
feel
there is
me?
no ifs, ands, and buts.
And cats are like, yo, nah, I ain't getting this policy because I ain't making no money off this life insurance policy. I'm like, you ain't making no money off your cell phone insurance or none of that.
None of that.
So you got that, bro. Get the trust. Like my trust cost me about $20,000, right? But I had stuff. It's called funding. I funded my trust with a lot of stuff. So I needed to have a lot of languages put in for all my grandkids, life insurance policies, a trust to get made for every one of my grandchildren, like whoever's born they get a trust automatically, you know, a custodial. Like there's languages in mine where it costs me that kind of money.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
No, that's a long process.
That's
But I don't see the problem is when you start telling people too much, they go, I want that. You just need to tell them, just go get a trust. Because if I start telling them, I say, yo, I want the next year.
Yeah, but then they don't understand that neither because
right.
you've put, first of all, you put the time and you've put the effort and you've actually put the work in to be able to create that trust, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, you have languages and certain policies inside of your trust. Like when we had our trust made, it was very simple. Very simple. The house, you know, obviously the insurance, the life insurance policy that he had through his job, and then obviously pension and security, whatever else is going to be coming from him is going to be paid out to me and then my grandchildren, so on and so forth. So like, I didn't need to hear the extraness of, yo, go get this, that, add these extra life insurance, and I just needed the
simple. Add water, stir.
I go. No, he's right. I go with the model.
I like that.
I go with the model.
That's my quote.
If it's too complicated, you don't understand it, you're not ready for it.
Yeah. You don't have enough money for it
You're
if
not
your
ready
lawyer
for
ain't
it.
recommending it for you. Ain't recommend. But now let me continue with the out of the country because I don't want to lose focus on that.
Yeah, now go ahead.
My lawyer just recommended
Because
on
that
other trusts.
that goes in
You
talk.
start seeing what's going on. My lawyer said, "Hey, it look like you need 2 more trusts." I said, "All
Then they
right,
start
I see
picking
what's
up the
going
phone.
on."
Yeah, I actually have 2 trusts myself now. You know what I mean? 'Cause I got to get some stuff right. You know.
Right.
But I'm
That goes in talk with the trust.
I'm
But
gonna
go
keep
ahead.
y'all locked in on out of the country because I
Okay,
need y'all to really
yes.
understand
That's
that this
important.
country is changing on different levels. And what's going on, you need to say to yourself, what does it look like 10 years from now? First of all, I want you to stay locked in on the next 5 years. The reason why 5 is so crucial, because you have 2 elections happening.
Yes.
You have this election that's getting ready to come up, and then you have one that's going to happen at the end of that 5-year mark. Depending on who wins now, and in my opinion, not many Democrats are coming out to vote, especially not with what he's doing with Palestine and the war in Israel,
Gaza,
which
and
is
everything.
another thing because that whole war is all about real estate. I just want to let you know.
Yes.
It's about real estate. Let's be perfectly clear. Gaza is going to be one of the most revered beachfront properties that's going to make Dubai look like Coney Island when they finish. They're going to make this place incredible. I want y'all to look at Gaza, what it looked like just when the Palestinians was there at the waterfront.
Right.
Some of the most beautiful property in the world. But now they're going to, really go ham with this, right? So, damn, but I hate when I go into topics because I start getting revered.
No, go ahead.
But leaving out of the country, let me stay locked in on that. The reason why I feel you have to go, because what is there going to be available for you? How are you going to be treated, you as a human being? And plus, I hate to say this, real estate would not be a strong commodity.
Out the country, or you talking about in the country?
In this country.
Why?
I feel like it already is.
You know why? Because you cannot have a one salary person buy real estate, not real estate.
Yeah.
Like, put it like this. When I was buying properties in Alabama, Milwaukee, Detroit, Indianapolis, all these places, people were calling me crazy because I never went to see them. They were 30,000, 40,000, Huntsville, Georgia. Like,
Now Huntsville's going
Huntsville,
up.
Alabama, I mean.
Alabama,
like,
yeah.
Alabama,
cheap. People were like, yo, you bugging.
It's
now,
going up too. It's going up.
up 150, 200,000. I'm getting offers all day. So what I'm saying is, when a 99-cent store can no longer sell 99-cent goods, you are in trouble.
Yes.
So you can't
Yes,
go out
sir.
there and buy a $40,000 house in Alabama no more. Where are you going to go to get a $40,000 house? If Alabama, Indianapolis, all the places I'm telling you, those houses ain't $40,000 no more.
not.
Now to get you a $40,000 house, you need to buy something where the whole roof is caved in, ain't no floor, and you got to get somebody to do the work. I was buying stuff tenant occupied. That's another one of my systems. I never was buying properties that were vacant. I bought Section 8 tenant occupied guaranteed rent. So my thing is now,
Hey, that's a bar right there. Y'all better make sure y'all listen.
got to get those. Now you can get those, but they still gonna cost you. Like, why? Not why, because I don't want to take nothing away from people who want to do the renovations, like who are into that. But when the conversation on social media sounds the same from 2 years ago,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's a problem because they're not moving forward.
There's no elevation.
When I see people talking about, I'm going to go, not go, but I'm going to teach you how to get you a property that you're going to fix and you're going to renovate, I like that. But that's for a person who ain't got a job. And most likely those properties are not in the state where that person's living.
Yes.
So now they got to either get a contractor or they're going to join your program and you're going to get them a contractor. Cool, which I love that. But here's the problem. When I bought this property, now I got it fixed. I bought a $40,000. I needed to fix it. Material and everything cost. Let's say the ARV was $220.
Yeah.
So let's say I got my ARV. I got my money back. I made $60,000 or $80,000 out that. No, that's even a lot now.
Yeah, I was
but
going to say,
when cats
you
make
more like 30, 40 right
yeah,
now.
$30,000, $40,000 after that ARV, when it's time to sell the property, and I did a video about this because it hit me in my heart. This is a capitalist country.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm selling my property, I'm selling it eventually to one of those companies like BlackRock who's buying all the real estate up because they can afford it.
Yep.
Average person can't afford it. I sold 17 properties in the last 2 years. And I specifically made a video saying, yo, you know how many FHAs came across from my agent that didn't get approved? None of them were first-time buyers. They couldn't get it. People, and I said, how should I feel knowing I'm selling it to these people who are never going to resell it because they're companies? But that's the thing with capitalism. Yep. You want to get your money back off your return. But here's what they knew. See, the government, and I want to take y'all down this hole with me, right? The government understood when mortgages was 2.5 and 4%, they knew automatically our competition is all these buyers. Yep. Let's make these mortgages 2.5 and 4%. And when I was on the internet saying, I'm telling y'all, I want y'all to buy, but I don't want you to buy one. I want you to buy 2, 3, 4 properties with your family, this and that, because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna jam you up. Now look, you know how many people tell me, Storm, I'm stuck with this 2.5 and there's nothing I can do.
Oh,
I
man.
can't refinance. 20 million people bought properties or refinance at those rates, and now they will never, most of them will never refinance. That's almost $1 billion of equity that they will never touch because they only were able to afford the interest payments, the mortgage payments for 2.5 or 4%.
Yeah.
They can't go refinance for a 6, a 7, or an 8. So now the government's like, cool, we got those 20 million people out the way. All the rest of that shit is ours. And they went out there buying like crazy. So now I'm selling, and a lot of us investors, a lot of us who doing fix and flips, we like, yo, I fixed this property and I just sold it. Well, why don't you just tell us who you sold it to? Which you don't have to. But the goal is you ain't sell it to a family. 80% of the times you sold it to this company. Even if another investor comes to you and you be, I sold it to another investor, who you think that investor's working for?
Big company, hedge
Feel
fund.
me? These companies. So it's running to the point where you have to use group economics, which is all what my community is about, my Millionaire Magnet community. We buy real estate as a group. We did over $4 million of real estate buying as a group because the average person can't buy. So why don't you take your 20 or your 10, my 10, Now we go get a multi. Or, you know, and we all get together and go, like, we bought a $2.5 million multi-unit in Long Beach, California as a group. Average person can't even buy a single family, let alone buy a $2.5 or $3 million property. But you know what happens? Our brain, because what we've been through, has told us, don't trust a person with the same kind of hue as you. Like, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. We see what happened with the real estate when people gave y'all know who these people this money, and it was a big case where he took all this money and was reselling the same houses. But I told people, that's not group economics. That was you giving somebody money. No, it's facts.
I mean, it's multiple people, to be honest, but go ahead.
It is, but we know the business is out here.
Yeah.
I said group economics is when you putting your money together as a group and everybody's name is on the title, everybody's on the operating agreement.
Yes.
That's what my community practice. It ain't no they putting money together and giving it to me.
You know what's going on.
Yes. It's transparency. It's all there.
But you know what, with that too, a lot of people, like we said earlier, just want this passive income, this term passive income. I just want to collect my check. So they were comfortable. It's both sides. They were sold a dream and they were comfortable taking the dream, I believe, because a lot of people don't want to have the idea of putting working on learning. Oh, you going to do this with this money and give you a 10x return, a 5x return? Okay, I'm going to sit here and wait.
Yeah,
I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to sit here and wait.
What created the climate? You said it like, here's the key factors of what caused these things, right? And I'm going to get right back into where I bought out of the country because I need y'all to know about the different real estate rules out of the country and why ours is so crooked. Social media and the power of the phone has made people so lazy, but it will create the ultimate investor, right?
Yes,
Remind me to mention that, but let me tell y'all, let me give y'all an example of out of the country. I went to the Cayman Islands, right? And I want y'all to understand something. I don't want you to think you need to keep your money in the banks of America. Just because you work here, just because you get paid here, just because you have your business here, it's okay to open up an account in another country.
Yes.
It's okay to have an LLC in other countries and have business here. I don't want you, one day, I want you to envision this, and I tell my community this. I said, imagine one day you open your phone, open up your bank app, you type in your information, you ready to log in, and it says username not found.
Hold up.
How would you feel?
Oh God, you going down his route right now.
My thing, bro. Listen,
He be thinking I talk crazy.
No, I
that's
don't.
why I'm glad you explained this.
I'm gonna give you some more.
I'm glad you explained this.
AT&T, what just happened, was a fluke?
No.
Okay, so I tell people, when you see things like this happen, it's preparing for something bigger to happen. I'm gonna give y'all, like, I worked for Verizon for 20 years. I've been in meetings where they told us cell phones not gonna be the same. They're gonna be glass phones with all the data and all the chip processors gonna be in the main building because everybody can't have different speed phones when we're trying to create autonomous driving. Everybody's phones need to be the exact same phone. So with that being said, think about this. Android and Apple will eventually have to merge some type of company because if you're doing autonomous driving on all your Android phones in your car and all those cars know what they're doing, and I got an Apple phone, and now all my autonomous driving and those cars know what to do with it, my cars will crash with his. Autonomous driving will only be successful when all the cars know what they're doing simultaneously. And when that happens, that's going to be a part of the discussion why 2053, the back salary will be going down to zero. You know, they say we'll have zero black wealth in 2053. Think about it. There'll be no more driving. There'll be no more driver's license. And I want y'all to understand it's happening now. Think about the younger generation. Uber Eats, Uber driving. They're not driving. So eventually, that will happen.
I just had a conversation about that.
Hold on, let me get finished now with the phone devices. Now, once this happened with AT&T, you got the two biggest communication companies. Y'all gonna be like, this dude's storm bugging. I want to welcome y'all to my world, right? You had AT&T, which is a communications company, and you got Verizon, who's a communication company. The only two, we ain't counting Sprint, because Sprint is owned by them, right?
Yeah, we talking about the big one, the heads. I'm talking
about communication companies.
One that own the satellites and
Verizon owns
the
they
own
it.
People pay for
So
their
now,
satellites.
Think about all the AT&T phones went down. Millions of people, they left that service, right? Where did you think they go to? Did they go to Verizon or did they go to either Apple or Android? Where would you go to? Verizon. If you're like, I'm done with AT&T.
Verizon.
Oh, are you going to go to another communications company?
That's what the normal person going to do. Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Apple, iPhones.
Oh, you're right.
They're going to go to iPhone. So the objective For me,
I get what you're saying.
No,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
easy because it was majority Android users.
Yeah.
so follow me down the rabbit hole.
Because see, we
Follow
both
me.
thinking the other side, like, oh, we gonna go to Verizon, but he's right. Most people gonna just say, I'm gonna
go get me an Apple. I'm gonna go get me an iPhone.
I literally just had
So
oh
now
my God.
once you cripple the communications company, the next biggest communication companies that are not communication companies is Apple, is an iPhone.
Yeah.
Them and Google. Now, I'm gonna take y'all back to something. Man, when Google, because I like this conversation, right?
Right.
When the phone communication started happening, Hewlett Packard owned most of the chips and the devices to do the phone.
Yeah, HP, yeah.
They all made an agreement. Nobody would sue each other for the advancement of the technology. But then Android, Google came along and sued iPhone for the pinching of the screen.
Yes.
And they were like, oh, you suing us? What? The big thing in court fighting. But
Yeah.
if you notice when that happened, car companies were all falling. Ford, all these, you know why? Because autonomous driving need to happen. And only way these companies stop falling, soon as Google made an agreement, look, we're gonna move for the advancement of autonomous driving, that opened up the door for Ford, Hyundai, the Kia, and all of them to go, good, now we could do autonomous driving cars.
It's funny. That's why
all of this
they came
saved
out
their
with the
companies.
first electric car. Well, not first, but they came out after Tesla. They were the first companies to come out with electric cars first before everybody else.
If they didn't agree to squash all this suing, all them companies would have folded because they needed all this information. Now, when you in a electric car, that's the Apple. That's the Apple on the screen right there, bro. And the servers, who doing the searching and the searching? Google's the searching.
Yeah.
Like,
Search engine, yeah.
So this is bigger than what people are thinking. And this is why I want y'all to, like, when you take your brain 10 years down the line, when you see what technology is doing, you realize I got to get my ass up from around this and this small way of thinking, and people who think small and ain't seeing where it's going. You got to get out. If you're not saying to yourself, I'm going to get me an escape route out this country, because once all the migrants, and I'm going to jump back here real quick, the Democratic Party done enough and said, y'all don't have no more meat on the bones.
Right.
We bringing in all these millions of people to do all these things, and you know what? Those are our new voters. That's some millions of votes coming in, because they know Democrats ain't voting for them no more. Americans ain't voting for them, but they're gonna have all these people who they giving all this money to, showing all this love, and they're gonna make sure they're able to vote for that next election. So now you don't have the power of owning houses. Your voting power don't mean nothing. You think this country's gonna care about you, my G? You think they're gonna give in vote? The power of the vote. Anytime they care about us, first of all, is when another election time comes around.
Yes.
The black vote. Man, once that's gone, y'all better get yourself together and start thinking beyond this moment. That's what I'm preparing for. I want to get my grandkids, my kids ready. And it's now even investing in real estate out the country. If you look at places like DR, which I have property out there,
Yeah.
I did a big deal out there.
Yeah.
As well.
You have to start look at the prices. If you look back years ago, houses were cheap.
Cheap. Like
Bro, I went out
50,000.
there, I'm doing like $250,000 out there. It ain't cheap. I wish I would have went out there years ago. I'd have got a lot more for $250,000.
Yeah.
But I understand where it's going. And I'm going to tell y'all something else when I was there, who was there buying up.
Oh,
Clinton and his wife. Buying up everything.
talking about Hillary.
Yes,
I'm
Bill
making sure.
Clinton.
I'm making sure.
There. So you feel me? Like, they know what's going on.
Of course
out
they
there.
know. Of course they know.
But here's something else.
They in the thick of it. They part of the reason.
Here's another thing, and I'm gonna give y'all back the floor so I can rest my lungs real quick. Y'all know that movie, Leave the World, that Netflix.
The one, I was
Leave the
gonna
World
get to that
Behind?
too. Yup. That's how he took. You ain't see that yet?
I ain't get to see it.
Oh man.
Who's
Go
the
ahead.
executive producer?
I forgot.
The Obamas, man.
Oh yeah, the Obamas. Yeah.
The Obamas
Michelle,
spent money
Michelle.
to make a movie that
Yeah.
they're not gonna make any profit on, and that movie was all about a civil war happening in
That was the
America.
big thing. Oh, but the Obamas made it about what's going to happen basically to America.
It's like, I can't tell you, so I'm gonna spend this money on a Netflix movie. When I'm rich, I don't need it. It's not gonna make no money, but I'm trying to give y'all a message. And if you saw the interview she did after that, she said, they asked her, well, what are the things that scary and keep you up at night? She says, the things I know
Yeah.
keeps me up at night. When my husband gets that envelope and open it, I tell them I don't even want to know anymore. I know what's happening. Come on, man. Y'all playing, B.
Yeah. You got to see the message.
You think it was bad with cops pulling over and doing this? Like, we are in love with our captors. We're suffering through Stockholm syndrome. This country has us so messed up. When we think about going somewhere else or living somewhere else, we be like, yo, it ain't safe over there, bro. It ain't safe. Nigga, you can't drive to the next corner without a cop pulling you over who could kill you and not do paperwork and go home, and you talking about somewhere else ain't safe. We're bugging.
It's funny you said that because you said in 2053 the black wealth would be 0, and right now it's actually less than what it was around the Tulsa time where we were thriving. Yeah. The black wealth.
You want me to go there too now?
But we gonna go there. But one thing
we still need to touch on. Hold up. We still need to touch on the out of the state investing.
That's why I want
out of country investing.
That's why I want to get to, because you're saying a lot, which is it's crazy. Y'all gonna have to rewind this plenty of times. But I think the issue for a lot of people, like what he's talking about, if people are struggling right now, when you're grinding and you don't have money, it's hard for broke people to concentrate on anything else. So what you're doing right now is great. How do people start and get out of here so they can see 10 years? Because when you starving, you don't see 10 years. You just see next week.
You see
tomorrow.
You just see tomorrow.
Simple formula. Simple formula. If you save $100 every week, how much is that? 52 weeks in a year. So how much is that? $5,200. The average tax return is how much money?
Okay, he making it simple.
Average tax return about $5,000.
Yeah,
you got kids, you got $6,000, $8,000. You add them two together, that's $11,000. You got $11,000, you got $11,000, I got $11,000. That's $33,000.
Okay.
Now, if you're looking at buying a property about $200,000, let's say about $150,000, let's get a property. Why not? We can afford a property. If one of us qualifies for FHA, one of us go get a multi-unit FHA. Mm-hmm. FHA and VA loans, you can get multi-units now. Let's go do that. And then you live in there for a year, the other one go get an FHA. The other one go get FHA. Now 3 of us got FHAs. It don't have to be married couples only getting FHAs. The problem is we've been taught not to invest and believe in each other. That's the bottom line, bro. And it annoys me because literally I'm doing a video, right? And by the time this is out, the video will be already played. So
okay.
You know what annoys me, man? If Martin Luther King and Malcolm X literally would have sat down and worked out the differences.
Yes.
Think about how big Martin Luther King's following and Malcolm X would have been running together. And you probably would have not had them assassinated because you would have had too many people covering their back.
Yes.
We was conditioned. That was all conditioned, though. That was all conditioned.
What I'm saying is we can't keep saying
You're
what
right.
it used to be and now we're here.
You're
what
right.
if Huey P. Newton and I forgot the other one that was against him? What if all of them got together? What if Paul Robeson? What if there were people who were leading us, but they still had internal beef with somebody
each other.
because somebody's ego was too damn big to go, oh, let's rock together. We still doing that now in this space of entrepreneurship with each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh, talk about it.
Some people in this is
talk about it.
It's ridiculous. No, I'm keeping it a buck.
You're right.
I'm keeping it a buck.
You're right.
You over there doing your thing and you over there nurturing thousands of people, B. I'm happy for you. But then you're going to look and see somebody else nurturing people and go, yo, they want to steal my audience. You want to steal now we can't rock together. Why do you think you own freedom? Like the goal for all of us should be to help everybody, help them become free so we can do something. Don't tell me about what you want to do and then when you get power, you get to shine. Now you're going, this is my people. This is my event. This is mine. Bro, y'all know how passionate. Y'all hung out, had dinner with me.
Right.
Like I'm passionate about this. It's about me helping my people. And I know I'm going to make money based on my passion. Because I'm helping people, and people are literally, I'm doing so much offline because I don't even care about the bull crap that's happening online. You feel me? When people understand whatever you're making now, people are going to see through all your shenanigans, and then your money's going to die down, and then you're going to want to try to reinvent yourself, and it's not going to work. COVID created money where the entrepreneurial space went, wow, everybody got money. Everybody did their thing. And now people going back to work, and people really taking their time to go, wait, what am I getting for $40,000? What am I getting for $10,000? What am I getting for what am I getting? And now you don't have answers to the questions? It's a problem. Right. So we have to eventually, only the right people need to come together and worry about us freeing other people, like helping us as a people. Because you know what? It's not what the government is doing and what this country has planned for us. There's not going to be no social media that's gonna televise what's happening. You can look at your Instagram now. When we was talking education, Bro, they let us rock live. We was getting 1,000, 2,000 people on that night. We was rocking. Now, Instagram is like, nah, thank y'all. We got a great audience. We don't need y'all talking about education. I can't get no more than 20 people on my live. They won't let nothing of mine really live because they don't want us to educate no more. We always building something up, and then when we build it up and give it value, they take it, and now they go run with it. Same thing Fox, the channel, Fox Network. When Fox Network came around, the shit was all black shows. It was Martin, it was Living Single, it was Rock. It was all black shows. Soon as they got the Super Bowl, they turned the lights off. They went and got X-Files. They went, Cops. The show Cops was #1. All the black shows, they got rid of it. And the same thing we doing with Tubi. Like, we are blowing Tubi up to be $1 billion company.
Yes, it is.
People don't even realize who own that.
We don't own none of it.
We don't own none of that. But the sad part is, if we did own it, we wouldn't support it. We wouldn't support it. Like, when a black person's open up something, I'm going to tell you, don't let the world know it. Don't let the world know it's black owned. That's it. Because we have a thing with, oh, man, I ain't going to mess with it because something going to happen. We are so quick to run and build this other thing up instead of trusting in ourselves. And I'm telling y'all, man, like, only reason I'm talking the way I talk is the way I feel is love me or hate me. One thing you would never be able to say is that Storm didn't speak his mind. Like, I'm not trying to impress nobody. I ain't trying to have y'all be like, oh, yo, he gonna burn bridges. You don't burn a bridge when you're telling the truth. People gonna respect my truth. We gotta get up and do something for our people around it. You gotta educate your kids, your grandkids. You gotta get them prepared because you think it's hell now trying to buy real estate, which is hell. Imagine how it is gonna be trying to get a job when all these people here taking jobs. Your child ain't gonna get a job. Your grandkids ain't gonna get a job. They're not gonna be able to, so what are you doing? If you look at your child and all you say is, man, my son looks so much like me. My daughter looks so much like me. You're living in vanity. What you need to be doing is looking at your children and thinking about how your grandchildren are going to look coming from your child and what you're going to do to protect them. Not how much they look like you. We so stuck in the existence of not believing in our mortality that when it actually comes along, and if somebody were to tell you the day before you were going to die that you're going to die, you're going to try to get everything done in one day. When you got time now to go get your shit together.
If that ain't the truth, I don't know what is.
Look, he's providing literally in the sense, right? In your own words, Marvin and Ashcash, the path to prosperity, right? Because at this point, right, you've given the information. You've given your whole self.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think, I've met Storm a while ago, and Storm has never been not Storm. Storm has always been Storm. Storm has been the same person. Sat down, even in his rise, still sat down, have dinner with me. Like it doesn't matter. Yeah. And I appreciate you being
brother. Listen, man, y'all know how we go, brother.
Yeah, man. So obviously, I know the time is getting a lot longer now, right? And
how long we been going so far?
No, we ain't talking about it. We talking about general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The country, right? Obviously, I want to get back to the out of state investing. Okay, I mean, out of country.
Yes.
Investing.
All right.
Cool. Yes.
Right.
I'll stay focused. Keep me focused.
No, we gonna stay on path.
Yeah, we gonna stay on the path to prosperity.
Yes, keep me focused.
All right. What are you doing now out of the country that's different than you were doing before, right? Because obviously you said, right, you were investing, you became a landlord, you no longer wanted to do that. Yeah. You found out about 16 years later, right, because you invested in 99, 2015 is when you found out about property management. What are you doing differently out there, out of the country now, right? Now that you're not actually there, how are you managing these investments, right? Not properties, investments. How are you managing them?
I'm actually talking to people. I'm going out there. I want to look around. Like, it's not like out of state where I know what the United States, the terrain is, and I can just buy. So now I'm actually going out there, and I'm actually getting with companies. People like, big hotel chains and expat people and learning about areas. Like now, Nairobi in Kenya, like they really becoming tech savvy. So, I'm getting a condo over there, and I'm looking to do some stuff and go to Ghana. But I was looking to buy something in Thailand recently, right? Invest with this other major hotel line. So literally I was like about $500,000, right? The only reason I want to tell you the numbers because to invest $500,000 in another country that never was, that it wasn't that amount.
Right.
Like, like the word is getting out about parts of the country. I'm like, I'm not going to put $500,000 into this country, which would have been good investment with this hotel chain. But the thing is, I want to go where the next thing is happening, right? So the next real thing for me is South Pacific, Philippines and Indonesia.
Got you.
Okay.
So I'm going over to Indonesia, and like a lot of people when they hear Indonesia, they like Bali, yeah, Bali. I got people who are to Bali. I'm like, nah, I'm going to Jakarta, because you got to think about it. We have to stop running to where it's hot and popping because it's already blown up.
Right.
You got to start investing in the next hot thing where people who work that hot area, who work all in, they got to live somewhere where they can afford.
Right.
That's where you invest. Like, I love to see my people run into Dubai and invest in Dubai, but they doing it just because it's sexy and it sounds sexy.
Yeah, it's
that's all they doing because of like
That's
real.
what they marketed
the
to.
optics. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love my people investing in Dubai. I got my girl out there. She's killing Dubai, but a real investment to really invest in a place like Dubai is gonna be a couple of $100,000.
Yep.
Easy upwards to damn near $1 million. Yep. So when somebody tell me they invest $50,000 to buy, I know they invested in a hotel room in the hotel, which ain't a bad idea. Because the thing is, for those that don't know, you can invest in hotel rooms in hotel chains, and they rent your room out. You make a profit. But my thing is this: if I got 10, 15 rooms, but you only got one, who you think they're gonna make sure shit is
you.
making money?
Of course.
Exactly.
And now you're gonna be forced to sell yours back.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm gonna come in,
buy
like
that
a
up.
foreclosure and buy your
Small
joint for
guy.
cheap. You feel me? So my thing is, stop trying to go where it's sexy and go where it makes sense. That's how I started. I didn't invest where it was sexy. I went to Alabama, all these places, and now it's sexy to be like, yo, I got a crib in Atlanta. I got paid by the airport and all that. So now for me, it's my investments in other parts of the country where I know is gonna make me a big bang for my buck.
So one thing you said, right? Partners and group economics. That is major, and I think a lot of people really need to look into that. But one of the things, like you said, a lot of us don't trust each other. I remember you told me, right, and it's stuck in my head too. You say, "Yo, I'm making so much money, I'm not even looking at real estate right now."
Yeah, he said that to us
That's what he told
casually.
me. He said, "I'm making so much money, man, I ain't even looking at real estate right now." And then he transitioned to out the country real estate. So now I see what he was looking at the future.
You have to.
How do we find partners like you found your big two partners that y'all killing it in the game? How do we really find and vet these partners and trust each other to say, let's put 100,000, 200,000. That's a lot of money for some people. 200,000 together and let's go do this. How'd you find yours too?
Well, for me and my guys, Marvin and Ash, like ours was more a synergy of, yo, we wanted to do something. But I would never tell the average person that's an investor to get with another person in your space to invest 200,000-300,000, right? Because I already explained to Malcolm and Martin that happens, and I would tell you not to do that. I'm talking about the smaller everyday people. Take your tax return, take your money, and then find a group, find a community that you can invest with. Like, do people that like there's ego with money in our space. And I would not, personally, would I get with somebody and say, yo, I'm going to get with you with $1 million, and me and you put $1 million and we can do something $1 million? Odds are I wouldn't do it. Because I know the problem is the ego. I would take my $1 million and I would invest with my Millionaire Magnet community.
Okay.
And I invest with my community of people who got jobs, who are hungry, and they understand that, yo, we there's a big picture.
Yes.
You got, bro, there's a reason why big groups break up when they get big.
Yes.
Fat Boys break up, Guns N' Roses broke up, Fugees broke up. Like when everybody was
Rockefeller
hungry.
broke up.
Rockefeller. When everybody was hungry, ain't nobody go nowhere. When money came in,
Right. Everybody go everywhere.
now everybody break up. So I won't do it personally. I'm all about helping my people doing that though.
Yeah, and I think you really mentioned something with ego, like, and I say this all the time, like even when I have conversations about how me and my wife are able to operate inside of business, it's just dropping that ego, right? Outside of just investing, just conversation, communication, relationships, right? Relationships involve ego, and if you don't drop it, you're not gonna get anywhere. That's the truth. So, besides that, right? Path to prosperity. You guys are doing amazing things. You guys have been on a tear, literally, on events.
Got the game in a chokehold.
For real. And they're not even throwing a lot of events. Yeah. You guys are really making it exclusive in a sense, right? You guys are limiting the access. What have you guys done to date so far? If you don't mind answering for the viewers. What have you guys done to date? And then what are you guys looking to do now moving forward?
Well, and when you say done, like
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Be specific. What you asking? Be specific.
Well, we've helped a lot of people, right?
Helped a lot of people, yes.
Yeah.
So how much have you guys been able to generate as a company?
Yeah, upwards to almost like probably $20 million, somewhere around there. You know what I mean? But you got to think about it. We've thrown events where we spent $4 million.
Right.
Our first event cost us $4 million.
Yeah,
We said we wanted to spend $2 million. We spent $4 million.
Oh man.
Two up.
We spent $4 million, B. And
lot.
it felt good though, because we set the bar on like.
And you went to that event.
That was the first. That was the one you was talking about.
The one
Oh
you went
yeah, I
to.
was there. Oh yeah, it looked like $4 million.
I tell you that.
It looked like
But
$4 million.
Set the bar. Like the thing with me is, I'm not gonna do something, and I'm not trying to be like an innovator. None of us. We're not gonna do that. We wanted to set the bar where people go, shit, we can't be giving no regular conferences no more after what they just did. We got to give them something, and it's value and education, and bring the speakers and stuff like that. But now that window is closed. Let's be realistic. Inflation, the conferences and all that big stuff, it ain't about that. Like our last one, which was crazy, but we didn't spend upwards to that kind of money because you know why? It's impact. Like, it's not about money. It's impact. And that's what I want to remind everybody. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about how much you went and spent. It's about who are you impacting? What are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You know, like don't, when you come with the receipts shouldn't be how much you spent. It should be how many lives you changed, how many people, how many leaders you created, because we're living in a world of followers. Every morning there's something on your device telling you to follow me, follow me, follow me. And it's impacting the minds of the younger generations because all they know is coming from the space of a follower. None of them is becoming leaders. So you're looking at a time where we're going to be in a space where all these marches, all the things we've seen with Joy Floyd, all the things with the president and all this where we wanted to march, they're literally going to be virtual. These kids are going to grow up and never do a real march. They're going to go, I'm logging on to participate in this march for rights. And they're going to go into their computer or in a device, it won't even be a computer, a device, and virtually march hundreds of thousands of people. And don't think it's crazy, because literally it's happening now with virtual meetups. It's changing so fast. That's why I tell you, if you're not thinking 10 years ahead, you will never make money. You will never make money, because every time you think you got something, it's already came and it went. Technology went from 8 tracks, long time, cassettes, longer, vinyl, even longer, MP3s, short time. Couple of years later, streaming. Now look at this. You have a new version of a phone that comes out. You went from ChatGPT 1 to ChatGPT 4. You didn't even have a 2 or 3.
Well, ChatGPT's been around for a while.
Yeah, but we talking about versions.
Yeah,
of
versions,
something.
yes.
Things are moving fast.
It's moving too fast. And if your brain is still thinking about, like, don't even think, like, literally, I want everybody, because I know we're going to wrap this up. I don't want you thinking about it's about you. Your life, you were born as a sacrifice. All of us. We're thinking we're born to be idols and to be great. Your life was literally given to you so you could be a sacrifice. The question is, what are you sacrificing yourself for? Is it your family? Is it the car? Is it the gram? Is it the shine? Is it the jewelry? But it's ultimately a sacrifice.
Right.
The question is, what are you sacrificing yourself for?
And I think that's the issue with a lot of people. They haven't found their purpose, or they don't know their purpose. So they move around this life really lifeless.
Followers. It's
Followers.
a generation of followers now. Nobody knows how to be leaders. Our leader era is gone. Like, we are now for counsel. The other generations are supposed to be the generations for war, and we are the counsels. But now we're doing counsel and war. They're not trying to fight. They're not trying to be voters. They're not trying. It's different. And we got to remember, we're older. We still have the mind of 20s and 30s. I'm 54, bro. I don't need all this information up here. Not supposed to be on the battlefield. None of y'all information supposed to be on the battlefield. But all of those who are supposed to be on the battlefields, they're not.
I think the issue is, like you're saying, there's a difference between being a follower and actually you're a mentor. You have to learn how to be a leader, I think.
From who? when there is none.
I was about to say.
There is none. Like, I hate to sound so dystopic. I hate it. Every part of my body hates it. We are at the point where there's no turning back. There's no, like they say, oh, the society with the ecosystem. You can't unfix it.
Yeah.
Where we're at now, you can't unfix it. Your focus is the focus on your surroundings, your children, your immediate, and have them impact, and the impact goes outward, and then you have to go do something. You have to eventually go do something. But you cannot change the climate of what's happening here. There's no fixing where the country, what they think about us, what they're doing with the migrants and what they're bringing them here for, which I don't have a problem with them coming, but they made up their mind. You have no value to me, black people. We bringing in new people to work hard and do everything. We're going to arrest you. We're going to do it. God bless. God bless. I'm done. God bless.
Before we wrap it up, right? One thing you said, and definitely at that event, Scott threw a big event, him and his partners. And one thing you said to me multiple times, because you talking about creating impact, you came over to me and said, yo, I appreciate you for coming. And told me a couple words of what I should do, moving around the room. You said that to me multiple times. And that right there, when you're talking about creating impact and how I see how you spoke to multiple individuals, make sure everybody's having a good time, make sure everybody was getting value, make sure everybody was able to connect and get information, that's creating impact. Yeah. I'm in a lot of rooms. I'm in a lot of events. Most people don't have the time. They don't care. They just there to execute, collect money.
I don't think it's the time, but they don't care.
Most people.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That's why I was giving an example. Ego. People want to, like the spotlight, the hottest light, they desire that more than helping people, bro. Like that little thing of just touching somebody on the shoulder and saying, I'm glad you came. Glad. That's what's needed. And unfortunately, people start out with the right intention. But your true being shows once you do get money and power. Like you ain't changed. This was always in you. You just didn't have the people, the power, the money to show you're arrogant, to show that you wanted all the flashy stuff. That shit was always there. So this is who I am from day one. I don't care. Like I don't even have a nice car. Like I didn't even want a car. I got me a little Tesla. I pay $500 a month for the Range Rovers. I come from the era of the days. Yeah. I had me a $100,000 Benz before social media. And that was my young days. And I tell my young boys, I want y'all to enjoy your life. Spend your bread. Because when you turn that corner and you be like, yo, what's my impact like? What am I going to do? I look forward to talking to you, giving you counsel at that point. But all this, bro, it's we have to think about loading up the ark and like, what am I going to do? Because whatever you're trying to do right now, right here, it ain't happening. You can go get you some land. I don't want to take nothing away from nobody. You could get you some land, put you a couple of ADUs, some prefabs, and get you some money. Do that. The government programs with the migrants are going to be one of the best programs that ever happened to make you a successful landlord. But I want to tell you, when it's time for them to step on your land and start dictating different rules and who you can rent to and knocking on your doors, talking about where your paperwork and like, y'all think this is a joke? Y'all gonna look back and go, yo, Storm sound crazy. They literally gonna think about it. When the driver's license and identification don't exist because if autonomous driving rules the world, 20 years from now, you put that 20 years, they're gonna start with old people. The younger generation already don't want to drive. So there's gonna be no need. They don't carry wallets. You're not gonna have phones. So think about it. You don't have a wallet with a driver's license. You don't have a phone to carry pictures. What's gonna be the identification?
Or cards. You don't got a wallet to carry your credit card. You got a virtual wallet now.
So when you see those goggles, that's gonna be the new device. How are you gonna be identified? You're gonna get in a car and it's gonna read the sensors and say you're eligible to drive or no human beings could drive no more. Like, it's inevitable. I just want you to think ahead.
He taking us down that rabbit hole, y'all.
It's not you think driver's license gonna exist in 20 years?
Storm, I'm gonna ask you this one question.
Please.
What do you got coming now? How can the people reach you?
Okay. Listen, man, y'all know how to find me. I am Storm LEROY. My community, I am a millionaire magnet. Come hang out. Come get on the calls. I am a millionairemagnet.com. That's where we at. And man, listen. Talk to this guy, man.
I'm gonna keep talking to him, and then I'm gonna tell you to talk to him.
Look, I believe in everything y'all are saying.
I'm good,
I'm not saying I don't. I believe in everything y'all are saying, but look, if you guys want to become a millionaire magnet, right? If you want to become an employee millionaire, you need to tap in with Storm, right? He is unequivocally him always, and will be Storm. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate him to the utmost, and I always tell him that.
No doubt.
I always tell him that every time I see him. You know, it's the energy is just it's amazing. So thank you, Storm, for coming up here. I know you
appreciate you for coming, man.
Appreciate it. When the Achilles get better,
Yeah, we
gotta have for the court.
Anyway, well, appreciate you for coming, bro. You talked a lot of real stuff. Y'all gonna have to rewind this episode and check out everything he's saying, and make sure y'all put it into fruition and practice it. This is the Millionaire Centrals podcast. I'm Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir, and it's Tevin Facey.
Catch the next episode. See you guys soon. Peace.